Did you know you can practice speaking backwards, so when your words are reversed, they're still intelligible? Consider this, the digits in the speed of light are exactly the same as the latitude of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Isn't that fascinating? What does all of this mean? Are these just coincidences, or are greater powers at work? It's intriguing to ponder, isn't it? Here's something quite curious. When you reverse Neil Armstrong saying small step for man, you can hear what sounds like man will spacewalk. How mysterious is that? Apophenia is the perception of connections or patterns in random or meaningless information. It's fascinating how our minds are wired to find order in chaos, isn't it? We connect with faces so well. Hudson relates a story of how people can see faces in everyday objects, a phenomenon known as pareidolia. This tendency highlights our innate need to recognize and relate to human features. Originally, Apple's iTunes Shuffle feature generated complaints from users. When Apple first introduced the Shuffle feature in iTunes, it was meant to provide a way for users to experience their music library in a new and unpredictable manner. The idea was simple. Instead of listening to songs in a predetermined order, users could shuffle their playlists and enjoy a random selection of tracks. However, this seemingly straightforward feature quickly became a source of frustration for many users. They began to notice that the shuffle function didn't always feel as random as they had expected. In fact, it often seemed to produce patterns that were anything but random. Users reported that certain songs, or songs by the same artist, would frequently play back-to-back, creating a sense of repetition that undermined the very purpose of the shuffle feature. This led to a wave of complaints and criticism directed at Apple. People took to online forums, social media, and customer support channels to voice their dissatisfaction. They shared anecdotes of how their carefully curated playlists were being disrupted by the shuffle function's apparent lack of randomness. Some users even went so far as to accuse Apple of deliberately manipulating the shuffle algorithm to promote certain songs or artists. The backlash was significant enough that Apple felt compelled to respond. The company acknowledged the issue and assured users that the shuffle feature was indeed designed to be random. However, they also recognized that the human brain is wired to detect patterns even in situations where none exist. This phenomenon, known as apophenia, is a cognitive bias that leads people to perceive connections and patterns in random data. In the case of the iTunes Shuffle feature, users were experiencing apophenia when they believed they were hearing the same songs too frequently. To address these concerns, Apple made adjustments to the shuffle algorithm. They introduced a feature called Smart Shuffle, which aimed to reduce the likelihood of consecutive songs by the same artist or from the same album. This update was intended to create a more satisfying and genuinely random listening experience. Despite these efforts, the perception of patterns in randomness persisted for some users. This highlights a broader aspect of human psychology, our innate tendency to seek order and meaning in the world around us. Whether it's in the arrangement of stars in the night sky, the shapes of clouds, or the sequence of song in a playlist, we are constantly searching for patterns. This drive to find order in chaos is deeply ingrained in our nature. It's a survival mechanism that has helped humans make sense of their environment and navigate the complexities of life. In many ways, it's a testament to the incredible power of the human mind. However, it can also lead to misunderstandings and misconceptions, as seen with the iTunes Shuffle feature. The story of the iTunes Shuffle complaints serves as a fascinating case study in the intersection of technology and human psychology. It reminds us that even the most advanced algorithms and systems can be influenced by our perceptions and biases. As technology continues to evolve, it's important for developers and designers to consider these psychological factors when creating new features and products. Understanding how users perceive and interact with technology can help create more intuitive and satisfying experiences. In conclusion, the iTunes Shuffle feature controversy underscores the complexity of randomness and patterns in technology. It reveals the intricate dance between human cognition and the algorithms that shape our digital experiences. As we move forward in an increasingly tech-driven world, it's crucial to recognize and appreciate the nuances of this relationship. By doing so, we can create technology that not only meets our needs, but also aligns with our natural inclinations and tendencies. This ongoing dialogue between humans and technology is what drives innovation and progress, ultimately leading to a more harmonious and integrated future. They said that similar songs, or songs from the same artist, seem to play back-to-back too often. This perception of repetition was not just a minor annoyance. For many users, it fundamentally altered their listening experience. Instead of enjoying a diverse mix of tracks, they found themselves stuck in a loop of familiar songs. This issue was particularly pronounced for those with large music libraries. With thousands of songs to choose from, the expectation was that the shuffle feature would provide a wide variety of music. However, when the same songs kept appearing, it felt as though the shuffle function was failing to deliver on its promise. This led to a sense of frustration and disappointment. Users began to question the reliability of the shuffle algorithm. They wondered if there was a flaw in the system or if their music libraries were somehow influencing the shuffle results. Some even speculated that the algorithm was biased towards certain genres or artists. These concerns were amplified by the fact that music is a deeply personal and emotional experience. For many people, their music library is a reflection of their tastes, memories, and identity. When the shuffle feature didn't work as expected, it felt like a betrayal of that personal connection. This emotional response further fueled the complaints and criticisms directed at Apple. In response to the growing dissatisfaction, Apple took steps to address the issue. They conducted extensive research and analysis to understand the root cause of the perceived patterns. This involved examining the shuffle algorithm and exploring ways to enhance its randomness. One of the key findings was that true randomness can sometimes produce sequences that appear non-random to the human eye. For example, in a truly random shuffle, it's entirely possible for two songs by the same artist to play back-to-back. While this is statistically normal, it can create the impression of a pattern. To mitigate this, Apple introduced the Smart Shuffle feature. This feature aimed to balance the randomness of the shuffle function with the need for a varied listen experience. By reducing the likelihood of consecutive songs by the same artist or from the same album, Smart Shuffle sought to create a more enjoyable and less repetitive playlist. The introduction of Smart Shuffle was met with mixed reactions. Some users appreciated the improvement and felt that it addressed their concerns. Others, however, continued to perceive patterns and questioned the effectiveness of the update. This ongoing debate highlights the challenge of creating a truly random experience in a way that satisfies human expectations. It also underscores the importance of user feedback in the development of technology. By listening to their customers and making adjustments based on their experiences, Apple demonstrated a commitment to improving their products. This iterative process is essential for creating technology that meets the needs and preferences of users. The iTunes Shuffle feature controversy also sheds light on the broader implications of randomness and patterns in technology. It raises questions about how we define and measure randomness, and how our perceptions can influence our interactions with digital systems. In many ways, the shuffle feature serves as a microcosm of the larger relationship between humans and technology. It illustrates the complexities and nuances of this relationship and the ways in which our cognitive biases can shape our experiences. As we continue to integrate technology into our daily lives, it's important to remain mindful of these dynamics. By understanding the interplay between human psychology and digital systems, we can create more effective and user-friendly technology. This requires a holistic approach that takes into account not only the technical aspects of a feature, but also the human factors that influence its use. In the case of the iTunes Shuffle feature, this means recognizing the role of apophenia and designing algorithms that account for our tendency to seek patterns. It also means being responsive to user feedback and continuously refining the technology to better meet their needs. Ultimately, the goal is to create a seamless and satisfying experience that aligns with our natural inclinations. The story of the iTunes Shuffle feature is a reminder of the importance of this balance. It shows that even the most advanced technology can be influenced by our perceptions and biases. By acknowledging and addressing these factors, we can create technology that not only meets our functional needs, but also resonates with us on a deeper, more intuitive level. This is the key to creating technology that truly enhances our lives and enriches our experiences. As we move forward, it's essential to keep this perspective in mind. By doing so, we can continue to innovate and create technology that is both powerful and human-centered. This is the path to a future where technology and humanity coexist in harmony, each enhancing the other in meaningful and transformative ways. This perception of a pattern where there was supposed to be randomness highlights our human tendency to seek order in any situation. This tendency is not limited to music playlists. It extends to many areas of our lives. We see patterns in the stock market, in weather patterns, and even in the behavior of others. This drive to find order is a fundamental aspect of human cognition. It helps us make sense of the world and navigate its complexities. However, it can also lead to misconceptions and misunderstandings. In the case of the iTunes Shuffle feature, it led users to perceive patterns where none existed. This highlights the importance of understanding the psychological factors that influence our interactions with technology. By recognizing these factors, we can create more effective and satisfying digital experiences. This requires a deep understanding of both the technical and human aspects of technology. It also requires a commitment to continuous improvement and user-centered design. By taking these steps, we can create technology that not only meets our needs, but also aligns with our natural inclinations. This is the key to creating a harmonious and integrated future where technology enhances our lives in meaningful ways. When it comes to connecting songs and moving images, this dancing selection bias helps a lot too. We fall prey to this when we reject all the times the animation doesn't really sync up, focusing instead. In 1864, Abraham Lincoln's son, Robert Lincoln, was saved from serious injury, or possibly even death. The coincidences between Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy are famous. Both were elected to the presidency in their respective years, highlighting an uncanny parallel in history. Getting struck by lightning is a proverbially unlikely event, but Walter Summerford was one such rare individual who experienced this extraordinary occurrence. You may have noticed a lot of YouTube channels making videos about learning this week. Well, that is not a coincidence. It's part of a wider initiative to promote education through engaging online content.